Introduction, the background of study. Having barriers to the diffusion of more ecologically oriented consumption styles, severe external constraints to green consumerism, such as cultural, infrastructural, political, economical circumstances in the market and society. Problem statement is that UDM collaborates with Go Green World Association to hold a smart consumer campaign, and for the objectives, lastly is to determine the definition of sustainable development, to study the current status of effort towards sustainability, to benchmark the Malaysian consumerism and sustainable development impacts while compared to other international countries. Literature review, consumerism activities and consumer behavior. Firstly, consumerism is the idea that increasing consumption of goods and services purchased in the market is always a desirable goal. Consumer behavior is the study of individuals and organizations and how they select and use products and services. Consumerism is responsible for man-made climate change, high rate of growth in production and consumption of non-essential goods that has led to the deterioration of environment.
Carbon footprint. Carbon footprint is a measure of impact on the activities where the number of dioxide CO2 manufactured through the burning of fossil fuels and is expressed as way of greenhouse emissions. Emissions made in tons. Transportation, electricity generation, process activities and business gas emissions are the most causes of greenhouses, result in temperature change in depletion of resources.
Climate change is a long-term change in the average weather patterns that have come to define Earth's local, regional, and global climates. The cause of climate change is the greenhouse effect, which is the atmosphere traps heat radiating from Earth towards space. The greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and chlorofluorocarbons. We can respond to climate change by mitigation and adaptation.
Taken from the Bretland Report, sustainable development is a development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Sustainability is a term to connect the division between development and environment. Sustainable development started to get attention when the Industrial Revolution started at the second half of the 19th century. The 17 goals was taken on by United Nations members in 2015 and were targeted to be reached by 2030.
Benchmarking could be a method of measure the performance of the company's merchandise, service, or process against those of another business, though of the simplest within the business. The purpose of benchmarking is to spot internal opportunities for improvement.
We use three methods to complete this stage. First is data collection. Our data mainly collect from various high authorization websites. Second is justification of the countries. We chose Thailand, Singapore, and China, which are the Asia countries. Third is analysis. We verify data and statements, prioritize and eliminate certain data.
This table shows the benchmarking of sustainable development in 4 countries based on their performance on SDG 12 and SDG 13. From this table, we notice that Malaysia and other countries were facing a major challenge in controlling the energy-related CO2 emission. Compared to China and Thailand, Malaysia still has unsustainable electronic waste management. Moreover, the performance of sustainable management on municipal solid waste, production-based SO2 and nitrogen emission in Malaysia still remains a challenge. However, Malaysia did well in sustainable development compared to Singapore. Overall, Malaysia has to implement a proper sustainable management in order to face all the challenges.
For discussion and result for the benchmarking of consumerism activity as observable in the bar graph, for food and beverages, transportation, health, as well as clothing and footwear, Malaysia has had the second highest consumption out of them all, and that was due to several factors. Firstly, biological determinants. Second, the pricing of the automobile industry in relation to the fuel cost. Third, the influence of culture and media. And lastly was the ratio of age group as well as the social comparison, respectively.
In terms of sustainable development and responsible of consumption and production and climate action, Malaysia still faced significant challenge, but compared to other countries, it did pretty good. For Malaysia, consumerized activities when compared with the other countries has the second highest consumption in all the parameter that was given. In conclusion, we believe that consumerized activities can indirectly affect the sustainable development of the country.
Thank you.